Rise Skywalker. Hello there! So this is my review of Rise of Skywalker. The last Star Wars movie, I guess. Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm just gonna sit back here. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. They had a lot of spots going for it. They had a lot of bits going for it. They had their thingamajig they had to find. So they had to find this triangle thing, which led a signal to the secret base of the Emperor Palpatine. Ooh. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Emperor Palpatine's back. That's... Okay, they're kind of pulling that out of the rear end a bit. But, yeah, okay. But you know what? They pulled it off. I really enjoyed it. I'm trying not to spoil it because I actually want you to see this film. But, yeah, it was just so good. And it wasn't that long either. It was like two hours and 15 minutes long, which isn't that bad, considering the last Blade Runner movie was like 3.5 hours or something crazy like that. But it did feel longer because the scenes were different and it flowed well, and there was kind of callbacks to the different movies, and I even felt like a callback to Episode 1 when they were speeding through the canyon and fighting with, the fighters. It was crazy. It was craziness. There's so much to get through, but I really should have took notes and I didn't. I made that mistake, but yeah, but it kind of picks up a little while. It wasn't like the second one, because the second one picked up right after the first one, and a lot of people didn't like that, and I understand why, because it's usually like a bit of a gap, a bit of maturity there, and I did feel like there was a bit of maturity here between the second and the third one, which was really appreciated. And but they were still kind of stuck in the same boat of like there was only a couple of dozen of them resistance fighters really fighting against that the new Empire, or the new, well, that's what they wanted to build, the new Empire. But like I'm gonna say, I don't really want to spoil it, but I have to a little bit of spoilers. But anyway, Emperor Palpatine's voice can be heard through transmissions and stuff, and it's really freaking people out, and people want to know, like, where is it coming from, how is it getting there, and that's where this kind of comes in. It's kind of like a secret code to where the Empire's hideout is. So they have to go and... So that's what our heroes have to try and find. They have to try and find the thingamajig, before the bad guys find it. But interesting enough, like, it starts off with Kylo Ren finding one of them straight away and finding the Emperor. And then the Emperor makes him an offer he can't refuse type of deal. But and there's so many twists and turns in this movie, and I really appreciate it, and I really like that. I kind of seen a couple of bits coming, but like that's okay because it's fine. But I honestly think that this was I enjoyed the previous movies. The second one was kind of slow, but I still enjoyed it. But I really enjoyed this last one. I really did. It was fun, action-packed adventure. There's really a lot of character development in it. There's really a lot of forwarding the story and forwarding what would happen next, and kind of callbacks to what happened in the past, and you kind of got into what did happen with other characters in the past, and that was really good too. Really appreciate that. Special effects were brilliant. There's some really freaky bits in it. Like I've just freaked out. Like, oh my gosh, this is so big. There were parts in it that I thought were kind of paying homage to other. I don't know whether it was paying homage, or kind of ripping off other movies, but it's kind of. But like, all movies kind of follow the same formulas. You kind of have to do that to make a successful film. But this film, I don't know why it gets so much hate on the internet. I just don't know why, because I watched it and it was brilliant. It was okay. The dialogue. I think the dialogue could have been a bit better, for sure. Just tone it up a wee bit notch. But like, there was new ships, there was new fighters in it, there was new stormtroopers in it, there was new. But it still kind of looked like old. There was new old ships in it too, which I really liked. There was a couple of callbacks, but it wasn't too bad, which was good. The actors were really good. Rose wasn't in it that much because I think it's because she got a lot of hate in the second movie, which I didn't like, because I actually liked the character of Rose. I thought she was, I thought she was really nice. I actually did review the last time I did a movie reviews season. I kind of only bring back movie reviews just to review these movies. And Princess Leia, like the real character, Carrie Fisher, the real actress, she died. I think she died whilst making or after the film was finished, or whilst it was made. Kind of hazy in the information there, but they were saying like all of her stuff was finished before. But honestly, a couple of scenes did look like they superimposed her face on an actress, and it was kind of weird looking. But I don't know if that's my mind kind of. But it was fine. I think it was okay, but like the special effects, the sets, all brilliant. Loved it. The story itself was really good, and it was kind of paying homage to the original trilogy, kind of like saying, how can a ragtag bunch of people fight an empire? Such a huge army. But it's possible. I mean, we know from history that it's possible, and we know from experience that those kinds of things are possible. So it's really good, and it's got a really nice message in it, like, love and unity and friendship and family, and kind of, I think it is the best one of the trilogy. I really like I'd rate this one number one, and then the first one number two, and then the second one number three. Only because I thought the second one was a bit. I think it kind of dragged a little bit, but I understood what they were doing, and they carried on a bit with that into this. But like Ray and Ben were communicating with each other, and it kind of made more sense now because they're either on the same planet, or they're like nearby each other, so they could see each other and communicate with each other, just like they did in the second film. But yeah, there's some real good choreographed fight scenes in it. There was some really good action scenes in it, and the ending as well. There was just two separate endings, which is good, because that's what happened. Because episode 3, there was like 4 or 5 separate endings, and it was just mind numbingly. No, it was episode 1. There was like 4 or 5 different endings, and it was just craziness. It was just too much. But this one was really, it didn't fall into that trap. It was really good. And so I'll kind of get into so I do recommend the film. So I'll kind of get into spoilers a little bit here. Um, so from now on, it's kind of the end of the normal movie review. So I'm going to get into spoilers now. And the storyline itself was great because Ray, she kind of had to find herself, not just find the thingamajig, but she kind of had to discover who she really was. And you thought we got that from the last film, but not really. But she found out some dark secrets that maybe she didn't want to know, maybe she didn't want to find out. But kind of like this, you can't blame the sins of a father on the son or the daughter. So it's kind of like, well, okay, I'm assuming at this point you've seen the movie. Okay, so she finds out she's Palpatine's granddaughter, which is something that a lot of fans thought was that they were going to do before the trilogy even started. But like Luke Skywalker was going to find out that he was Palpatine's grandson. But that's what that that's that. But that could have happened too. Um, but I guess not. That's still a mystery, that whole thing. But but yeah, that's the big kind of reveal. But then she has to go and face him, and he's hooked up to all of these machines and everything. And it's so great. That's so good. But yeah, the other storylines were so good, and there was lots of little characters that kind of carried it too. That were good. There was lots of little robots, and Ray could really shine, like showing her appreciation of these little machines and loving just every living thing, even if it's a robot, and just like even if the other characters didn't really like them, but yeah, it was kind of poetic and sad at points, but it was really good, and it was really, you really got a sense of like, it ended right. And even Chewie got his medal at the end, which is something that kind of everybody pointed out at the end of the first movie. Like, why didn't Chewie get a medal? He should have got a medal. But he finally got his medal, I guess. And there was lots of little bits like that. Like, even going back to the original Star Destroyer to find the thingamajig. That was good. And but it didn't call back on the old movies too much, which I appreciated. But it kind of had to at some points, because it's just like, well, we have to show fan service a little bit. But not too much. And I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna like I don't really want to talk about a lot of it, because I kind of want to watch it again, just kind of soak it all in again. But some old characters came back, and there's some surprises as well, which I loved. I mean, when Han Solo showed up, I was just like, holy crap, he's a Force ghost now as well. That's brilliant. And it was so good. It was such a good movie, and it paid off well. And I hope Ray gets another movie. I hope she does. I have a feeling that they might, sometime in the future, they might get their own films, their own TV shows maybe. But yeah, I don't want this movie review to go on too long, but I do recommend the film. I recommend you watch it. If you haven't already seen it, you should watch it. Yeah, I just, at the ending was a bit like, okay, the very, very end was a bit like Titanic. I have to say that. It was a bit like Titanic. When Ben Kenobi sacrificed his life force and gave it to Rey, and then at the end Rey took the Skywalker name, that's a lot like Titanic, lads. Which is funny because, you see behind the scenes of episode 1, and what's his name says like, oh, we'll never be Titanic. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's just funny. But that was such great to go back to the very beginning. I could call her Rey Skywalker now. She went back to Luke's home, and she buried the lightsabers, and then she had her own lightsaber, which was really cool. And that's how it ended. Like, it ended the way the first one kind of began, and it was like the original first one, and that was really poetic, and that was really nice. And yeah, I just Rose should have got a bit more character in it, but she didn't. But I thought that and then there was actors from Lord of the Rings showed up in this movie, which was like, okay, that was mental. But and then there was actors from the original trilogy showed up towards the end as well. That was craziness. That was really good, but I thought that was really cool. And then the big battle scene at the end was just brilliant. I just loved it. It just, like, the whole galaxy came out and just went, yeah, let's do this. Let's join forces. Let's do this. Really loved it. I'm sure there's a lot I'm forgetting about. There's really super sad bits in it. When Leia died, it was sad, but it was kind of, it kind of had to be done, I suppose. But, I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. It kind of did follow the hero's journey storyline. She got another lightsaber. She got her thingamajig. She went back then at the end to tell her story and continue as a hero. And she did learn a lot from it. And you can't imagine her setting up a new school for Jedi, because the Sith are finally gone now. And yeah, it's just super good. And I'm going to watch it again tomorrow night probably. Okay, so this movie review is probably long, but you know what, the movie was long. It had a lot of things in it. I really enjoyed it. And so remember to like and subscribe. Should have said that at the beginning. Like and subscribe. Check out maybe the last Star Wars review here. Check out my other reviews. Check out my channel. Check out my videos. And hopefully I'll be pumping out some more of these videos now in the next couple of weeks. Because I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah, where a lot of people are locked down because of the, I'm okay. I'm fine, but everything's closed up. So like and subscribe, check out my other videos, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.